Sorry, it looks like it. There we go, a little bit better. Sorry about that blur right there. Anyhow, so I get a stand in the light again. So I changed my thought process on what I want to do with it. I'd like to kind of put it back more to its original state with what I can, which means we got a XSPC AX, maybe it's an EX. Pretty sure it's an EX anyhow. 480 XSPC EX, EX240, and then another EX480 on top. We're going to put the pump, which is it's got two SwiftTech D5s, and I can't remember the exact model, it's been a long time. Both of those are on a EVGA dual pump top head, and right now the reservoir is mounted to it, but originally it was mounted up on the side. I don't know if I still have brackets or if I want to do that. I haven't quite decided yet. If I do, it is what it is. I'm not going to cover up any new holes, not making any new panels to cover pre-existing holes from the last build, so it's not going to be perfect, but I should still have a mid plate here, depending on how I do it. Originally it was soft tube, so things that I have a couple soft tube fittings, I'll probably do that. I will mount the 6 hard drives, in essence, caddies right here. I have one hot swappable rack, which I don't know if I really want to put in this, so I'll probably not. I'll just use the regular ones without the backplane on it. We're switching to the EVGA motherboard with the EVGA 1000 watt, and we will be actually using 3 780 Ti's. So it's about as close to the original build as I can. It will be the same radiators, same graphics cards. I would put the original power supply back in, but I actually want to keep that one for myself, especially if I get rid of this. It's going to have a Intel 6-core 12-thread 7800X, and I haven't quite figured out memory yet, because I don't want to dump it with a ton of memory with 3 780 Ti's. So I'm getting rid of it with massive amounts of memory, which is going to be pointless in my opinion, because then you're getting all this water cooling, decent motherboard, decent processor, decent memory. The only thing that's going to be outdated, really, I mean, obviously the chassis is a little bit old, but outdated hardware-wise would be the 780 Ti's, and that would be more than enough for people to sit there and lowball, and it's like, okay guys, the rads are not cheap, fans are not cheap, power supply is not cheap, motherboard, fairly, the processor that I'll have in it, fairly. So I don't know if I want to let 128 gigabytes of memory go with 3 780 Ti's, so I'll probably do one 16 gig module. Now, if I'm getting rid of it, I might as well. If I decide to keep it, then obviously I'm going to run 128 gigs of RAM. But I would honestly prefer to just get rid of it. So, it's unfortunate, but I don't really want to get rid of like storage options, because I have another 900D that I can use as storage. So if I got 4 caddies available, which I think I have 3 here and then 3 in the other machine, so I can add technically an additional 2 to the other rig. and I could do all three if I switch out power supplies. Actually, I think the power supply in there would even allow me to work three, but you know, that would be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 hard drives, right? So it's like at this point, you know, with I could put the bigger power supply in and have the room for it. You can, oddly enough, fit a 360 mil rad back here as well instead of a 240 if you have a fairly smaller power supply. So my AX1200i Corsair, that's a pretty long power supply, but if I go down to the EVGA Supernova 1000 watt G3, I actually have more than enough room to get that in there, all of the cables, and a 360 mil radiator right here. So we're short a little bit, but I did that when I made the water cooling, external cooling solution out of this chassis, which I had storage here, 2 SSDs on the back, 2 pump reservoir D5s, right? Those were heat killer reservoirs with Vario D5s. I don't remember the models on those, but yeah, we're just kind of gonna give it its original look. I'm still gonna put the mid plate in. Right, it has a little cutout for the power supply, so you'll be able to read the power supply. I'm pretty sure. Oh, you know what? If I tried to do it how they did it on water cooling, I might actually end up being screwed, especially with soft tubing, because they came up from the back radiator and went through the back on the back side over here, and then out through the top to the top radiator. So the way it went, which honestly was kind of amazing, and it had memory water blocks, so it was kind of cool, but unfortunately one of the fitting openings on the memory water block got cross-threaded, and I could never fix it, so I was like, well, alright, trash, and I really didn't want to buy new memory water blocks and all that, so going with that. Anyways, so reservoir was mounted here. Modules had water blocks because it was an X299 platform, so still 8 modules. And the CPU module and then 3 780 Ti's, right? So the way that it had worked is it came out of the reservoir down into the pump in the bottom, was pumped out into this front radiator right here, this 480, connected to the back 240, came out the 240, came up underneath the hard drive caddies, around the back, into the top 480. From there it came down and it went into one memory module water block, out of it, into the CPU, out of the CPU into the other memory block, and then out to the GPU, and then went through the GPU blocks, and then returned to the reservoir, and then back down. And that system was phenomenal. So it had these green bit Phoenix fans when I bought it. It had green cabling, you know. I wish I wouldn't have bought it, to be honest. I'm thankful I did. At the same time, I regret it, because the dude I bought it from was kind of a prick. But yeah, so I was a red kind of guy, so what I did is I got red Corsair 120 millimeter static red fans, right? I did 4 here, 4 on the back, 4 here, or yeah, well, 2 up here, 2 on the back of the hard drive caddies, the 4 up top, and then the 1 on the back. And then I did red cabling, and I went hardline. I said screw the soft tube. So that meant I had to do a lot of changes to it. I didn't keep everything mounted down here. So it's still kind of on the up and up if I want to mount anything down here, or if I want to put the deck in and have tubes coming up into the pump and the reservoir combo and then going up from there. But that actually kind of makes it really tight in space as to what you can work, so I'm not quite sure. And then I guess also if I really wanted to, I could keep the pump down here, put a reservoir down here, and not put a radiator in the top, and kind of run like a parallel loop. So this just comes out, from the CPU. I got one coming in, goes up through the graphics cards, up in here and down, and then into the bottom, into the pump, reservoir radiator. So then it's like this section is all air cooled, right? Hard drive's air cooled, nothing obstructing like a pump or a reservoir right here. So straight blow through on that, and a straight exhaust without taking any needed heat from, or not needed, but any heat that's been collected in here, having to blow through another radiator. So I don't know, but I'd like to do soft tubing. I just don't know if I have enough fittings to make that happen. Plus I'd need to reorganize where I plan on putting hardware on the back side. I'd have to buy a couple more fittings. And technically I have more than enough hardline fittings to make just about anything happen, but it's still a lot of work. So I haven't decided. And then I got to put some blocks on the top of the radiators right here, so my mid deck, my mid plate sits where it's supposed to. And I was thinking originally about going with the RGB, and I still haven't quite decided, because that means more space being taken up in the back for controllers. Yeah, I'm not sure how I want to exactly do it yet. Like these ones, I could put a little fan hub right here, connect all the fans right here, and then just run a cable to the motherboard. So all clutter stays kind of isolated. Like do the same with these ones in the back too. Is put a little fan header right there, tie all those in on that, run that cable too. So this would be on one. Those two would be on one, or I could do these 4 on one, those 2 on one, these 5 on one. So it's many options as to how I can do fan controls, and not be using a fan hub type thing like a Corsair Commander XT or Core XT or whatever. So the only thing that I would need in essence is a lighting up probe or controller or whatnot to control the front RGB logo, and then maybe some RGB strips. And since this one I've decided I wanted both sides to be see-through, just in case cable management was on point, or whatever, just so you can see what's going on in the background. If you have it in a place where you can see either side, or if you had to put it in a position where all you could see was the back side, it was clean, it was lit up, so it was admirable either position that you put it in. So I think what I'll do in that case, since I'm going with the EVGA board and the 780 Ti's, the EVGA board doesn't have a whole lot of RGB, so I'll probably just select a static color like white, even though the white's kind of chintzy. I'll put white on it, and then whatever, if I keep it, it'll be the 120 gigs of Corsair DDR4 3200 megahertz RGB probe. So if I, so it'll technically only have, without lighting, maybe some RGB strips, and then the one exterior logo for lighting. Other than that, fans will be black. I know a lot of people like RGB. I don't mind it, it's okay, but I can also do without it. And sometimes you just kind of want a sleek black machine, like minimalistic. Besides that, I'm kind of picky about keeping fans that I spent quite a bit of damn money on to get when they come out or shortly after they come out. These fans down here, these XSPC fans, 120mm Pros, I swear I bought the last ones in existence. I needed, I want to say, 10 more, I think it was 10 more, to finish a build in my Corsair 1000D chassis. And I literally had just bought a ton of them right before, right? And yeah, when I went to look for the rest of them, right, because I had bought them like, let's say 6 months prior, I was like, yeah, cool, I'll buy some more. Nope, they were all gone, couldn't buy them anywhere. The manufacturer didn't even have any collecting dust on their shelves, so I was kind of disappointed. So anyhow, we're going to have, I believe it's a total of 15, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. So we'll have a total of 15 XSPC 120mm Pros on XSPC radiators, 2 Swiftech D5s, EKWB to the pump top, also with a 60mm by, I want to say 200mm EKWB reservoir with multi-port top. So we have some options depending on how we want to roll it. If I don't have the brackets, I will probably mount the pump reservoir here, which will kind of make it a little bit janky because I can only route in to the top at that point. So I don't know, I have yet to figure it out. I could keep it mounted on the top deck right here. So I will still need to figure out a way to come through and connect to the pump, and I'll have to have an outlet to come up to this radiator out to do this. If I do hardline, if I do soft tube, which I absolutely hate, I still would have to buy more fittings. I still need to buy more fittings to reconnect the 780 Ti, so I'm probably looking at, let's see here, I've got 2, 4, 6, give me 1 second. So 8, so that would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, so let's see, I need 1 for out, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, so 10 is all I would need. I've got, what, 8 I said? 2, 4, 6, 8. Yep, so I technically need 2 more soft tube compression fittings. I would need some 90s, some 45s, some rotaries, so I can position shit. Extensions, I don't think I would need. I don't recall having any extensions on it. It was mainly a couple of 45s, a 90, and then a soft tube compression fitting, and then the radiators were joined. I don't even know how that didn't leak. I guess they had just enough pressure to not, but it was literally just a tube put over that fitting and over that fitting, and no tone down, no knuckle, no nothing. I'm like, okay, well, at least it held. So what we're going to do is I got to drain another system so I can mount the pump and reservoir down here. I got to get that kind of set up. I got to get I'm going to do a drain in the front right here with a T valve and a couple other pieces, so it makes it easy to actually just drain. And things that I am using the shorter power supply, I think that's what I will do, is move the pump reservoir back a little bit further and then have the reservoir come up right here instead of maybe mount it right here. I don't know. That's if I put my wood panel back in here after I do some cutouts, maybe. If I don't, just because I don't care, I'm gonna leave it open. Maybe clean up a couple areas that I missed the last go around when I had to drill some holes, and then we'll go from there. So I'd probably say we'll have another video probably coming in later today. I don't know when I'll post it. I'll probably have to go through and re-edit everything because y'all can't hear shit from my microphone right there. So anyhow, stay chill.